Professor McElroy here. A quick little desktop recording for the announcement section. Just going quickly over what we did in class, last class. That had to do with finalizing our nonprofit logos and then applying them to my identity brand sheet. So I'm just going to do a quick little recording here, just highlighting some of the key elements of what we did last class. Now remember, here is our Keep Rome beautiful concept that we worked on together. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to lock my layers, hide my template layer, and I'm going to add a new layer called layer number 6. And I'm going to click on that and drag it down to just above the template layer, and I'm going to name it color, because this is where we're going to apply the color for our logo. Now remember, last class we went in and we removed our stacks because we're going to add color before we go in and reformat our horizontal, our portrait or stacked, and our symbol only mark. So now we have that, and I'm just going to quickly add a little bit of color to our illustration like we did in class, just so we have something that has a little color to it. It's not going to be perfect because I'm just doing it for a quick demo, but I am going to create a couple of shapes here. So I'm going to create that one. I'll go in and create this one. It's not going to match perfectly to the outline because I'm just doing it for a quick little screenshot demo, but I want to create a couple of shapes so that we have some color we can add. Now, I'm going to go in and unlock my clock tower for a minute. I'm going to now go into, so let's go over to our swatches tab. Remember, we're in the window workspace layout. So that your palette should look like this. Remember last class we went in and we did open swatch library under our swatches tab, and we picked our true match color swatch from the swatch library color books. And we went in and we selected a range of 3 greens all along the same row. So I'm going to pick these. We did 3 blues. So I'm going to go in here and just pick 3 shades of blue, a dark, a middle tone, and a light into our swatches library. And then we also did brown. So I'm just going to go over here and pick kind of a dark brown, a middle tone, and a light, all in the same row. So you'll notice now these are our color swatches. So we went in over here, and I'm going to go ahead and create. So let's unlock for just a minute these, delete that. I'm going to go back to my color layer. And I'm just going to create, holding down shift, a little square over here. And I'm going to fill it with my first green. And then I'm going to do shift option and drag off my second square, which is going to be that. We can also do command C, command V, kind of just drop it in there. And I'm doing equal space. So draw a big selection box over these 3, command C, command V. And then I'm going to drop the second one in there. And then for this one, I'm going to do the dark blue, the middle tone, and the light blue. I'm going to draw a big selection box and move that up just a little bit. So draw a selection box, command C, command V. I'm going to drop my third one, and I'm going to make sure they're all equally spaced apart. So there's my middle tone, there's my light tone. So those are going to be my colors for my logo. And so now I'm just going to go in and select the hills that I drew, and I'm going to do just a light shade of green with no stroke. And so now I'm just adding a little color. I'm going to unlock my river layer because I want to select these shapes and I want to make them the blue color. So I'm going to go over to my swatches, pick kind of my middle tone blue, and I'm just going to make sure it's a fill of blue and a stroke of none. And I did in our lecture go in and add a little brown. So I'm going to lock that. And I'm just going to go in here and create a little bit of brown back here. It's not going to be perfect because I'm just doing it for the video demo. just so that we have something that looks like the demo in class. And so you'll notice that I'm just kind of following along here. There we go. And I'm just going to add color to this one and use one of the tones of the brown. And so there we go. And I do think that I did a little color at the top too in the actual demo. So let's go in here and just add a little color here, just so that we can have full color. All right, so we have our color added. Let's unlock our type and let's just make that black. So I'm just going to hit the toggle switch. So here is our full color logo. So now we can go ahead and unlock all of our layers but our template. And I'm going to draw a big selection box and do Command C, Command V. And then I'm going to move this down here and I'm going to select just my letters and move those out of the way. And I'm going to do Command G to group it. And then I'm going to select just my symbol and I'm going to do Command G to group it. So now I have my symbol and I have my words grouped together. And so now I can make my stacked logo. So here's my stacked logo. Here is my horizontal logo that we created. And last but not least, I'm going to do Command C, Command V, and do just the symbol by itself over here. I am going to grab the corner and do Shift Option just to scale it down a little bit. And so now we have our logo set up in horizontal, in stacked, and in symbol only. I'm going to go ahead and save that, Command C. And then I'm going to draw a big selection box and select everything on my artboard. Make sure that your layers aren't locked. The only one that's locked is your template layer and that it is hidden. So we'll go ahead and copy that. We're going to go over to our identity template, which is in our announcement section. I'm actually going to go in and unlock the background layer, and I'm going to get rid of these background elements because we just did those as a template so you could see the style of it. And then I'm going to relock the background, and on my artwork layer I'm going to do Command V, which is paste, and I'm going to move it off to the paste board over here. And so now you'll see that our identity booklet has space holders. So this space holder is for our full logo. So we're going to drop that in, do Shift Option, scale it up a little bit so it fits a little bit more boldly inside of our logo cover sheet. And so I'm going to delete that box. I'm going to draw a selection box here. I'm going to group that. I'm going to do Command C, Command V. I'm going to do Shift Option and scale it down, and I'm going to drop it right in here. Making sure I hold down Shift so I scale proportionately. And then I'm going to select the stacked box, and I'm going to select this one and do Command G to group it. I'm going to move it on over, and I'm going to drop it in here and do Shift Option and scale it down. And we're going to drop that in there, and then we're going to delete the symbol box, and we're going to select this, which is just our symbol, and move it over here. I'm going to do Shift Option just to scale it up a little bit. We're going to delete the alternate mark, and we're going to select our horizontal and copy and paste it and move it over. And remember, our alternate mark is our black and white, so I'm going to zoom in. And with my direct select arrow, I'm going to select the boxes that I drew in color, and I'm just going to delete those. And so now I have my black and white. I can actually use my direct select arrow and also make these black outline again. If it's grouped, I can use my direct select and select just parts of the grouping. So you see how I can click on just each letter with my direct select arrow and select just parts of the identity grouping that we now have created. So we'll move that over. Now, remember, we have our color swatches, so I gotta go find those. I'm gonna Command G and group those. I'm gonna move them over. I'm gonna get rid of the ones that are here. And in class, we actually made this 2 lines and moved it over here because of the proportions of our swatches, which are set up like this. So I'm gonna do that and move this in. And now primary font is Avenir. And so let's make sure that we have Avenir selected. And then we did the all caps in Avenir black. We did the all lowercase in Avenir Roman, and we did the numbers in Avenir oblique. Now, during our logo process, we actually didn't use a secondary font, but a secondary font is one that is not the same as your primary. That maybe your primary is sans serif and your secondary is a serif typeface, and it is just a secondary typeface choice so that we have the flexibility to add a script or a serif typeface, something we could add to our brand as a separating element in our branding. So in class we did Times New Roman, so we picked a serif typeface to go with our sans serif. So I'm just going to scroll down to Times New Roman. There it is. We're going to make the all uppercase bold, and we're going to make the numbers italic. And the reason we do that is just so that the brand sheet has the look and feel of all of the typefaces. Now remember, we did go in here, and I'm going to hold down Shift and select these categories. We did go in here and made sure that even the categories matched the typeface of the brand. And we did make these a little smaller. We went down to 12 point, just so they aren't so dominant in our sheet. And here is our identity brand sheet, cover page, and details page. We did take it one step further in class, and we made a watermark behind our image. So I'm going to unlock the background layer. I'm going to copy and paste this, but I'm actually going to paste it to my background layer. So there it is. I'm going to control click on this and ungroup it so that I can get rid of the words. So I'm going to get rid of these words. So we have just the watermark. So let's group that again. And in class, we made this a little bit bigger by holding down the Shift key, and we put it in the corner, and we changed our stroke from swatch black to a light gray, which is right there. And so now you can see that we're starting to create a little personality in our brand sheet. So if we copy and paste, I can move this one kind of like over here. I can do Shift Option, make it a little bit smaller, and put it behind our swatches. And now our brand sheet is starting to get a little personality. And I'm going to save this as my last name. So we'll save it to the desktop, my last name, and keep Rome Floyd Beautiful brand. I'm going to save that over to the desktop, and we have successfully created our brand sheet, 2-page brand sheet. Remember, this is what's due for Tuesday. I want to be able to print page number 2 and post it in the classroom so we can talk about the elements of identity design, break down the success stories, some areas we might be able to tweak a little bit, because remember, this is an ongoing case study, so the final brand mark will be part of our portfolio or case study package, and that will be submitted at the end of the semester. Okay, gang, have a great week.